Guys, what is going on? I hope you're doing well and welcome to this new video of mine. Now you guys probably know from the title below that today I'm going to be giving you some GCSE tips, some tips that I've used to achieve 8s and 9s across all of my subjects in my GCSEs. Now you guys know that 2 years ago I took my GCSE exams. I also made a YouTube video about it which kind of went viral, so check that out. Links will be down there in the description below. Also bear in mind guys that my year was the first year where we had the 1 to 9 grading system introduced, so it wasn't like A stars anymore to use, it was 1 to 9. So the grading system and the way the examinations worked and everything around was completely different and it was brand new. Now guys, these 3 major tips that I'm going to be giving you guys, bear in mind I've used them as well. They really work, they really helped me out. And not only that, I've been tutoring GCSE students for the past 2 years. I've been helping them on different subjects such as maths, sciences, Englishes, and literally all other subjects out there. Whatever subject that I took, I helped many of my GCSE students there. So guys, these tips that I'm going to be giving you, they're going to be very helpful, and honestly I've seen so many people use them and it really worked out guys, so stay tuned for them. Now guys, one more thing I wanted to say before starting this video is that me and my bro Queen G-Star, we've been making so many Q&A, so many podcast kind of videos, so many educational related videos on his channel, so make sure you check them out. Links will be down there in the description below. We talked about different topics such as medical school examinations, how to get into medical school, or other topics such as A-level tips and mostly GCSE tips. So guys, make sure you check them out. Links will be down there in the description below. They're going to be a crazy game changer, I promise you guys. Now guys, the first tip is that make a timetable. You need a timetable. Now it can be quite simple to make a timetable, but really I feel like a lot of people make mistakes. One of the mistakes that people make is that maybe they make a timetable and they say, okay, hold on a second, I'm going to be revising 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours or whatever. I feel like that becomes too much and it becomes a bit hard for a person to be consistent upon it. Me personally, I was doing 1 to 2 hours revision throughout the year whenever I could, and I made sure I stuck properly to this game plan that I had and to this timetable that I had. Now bear in mind guys, there are people who do revise 3 hours or 4 hours and they end up getting all 9s. That's perfect, that's not a problem. But I'm saying that if you want to be consistent, then it is better for you to do a manageable amount of time that you spare every single day in which you just revise. Maybe on the weekends you can revise way more because you have lots of time. Maybe you can do 3, 4, 5 hours even on the weekend. And but on Mondays to Fridays when you have school, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours will be too much. What you want to do is that you have a consistent game plan, because consistency is the key guys. So if you keep something consistent, you're most likely going to be successful at it guys. So make sure you have like a very good timetable. Now guys, one more thing I wanted to say is that make sure in your timetable you write down exactly what subject you're revising. And not only that, if you can, it would be very good and I would highly recommend it for you to even write down how you will be revising that subject, because the last thing you want to do is sit down 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock and literally spend 15 minutes or 10 minutes of this 1 hour chunk that you've got just thinking about what subject should I do, or what how am I going to revise this subject. So make it very specific, make it very clear. 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock I'm going to be doing some maths questions on these topics. I'm going to be doing some grade 8 questions, or something like, okay, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock I'm going to spend 1 hour doing English literature and I'm going to be comparing a few poems. So make sure you have it structured, so that way you can be very efficient with your time and you don't waste any unnecessary time thinking about what subject you're going to be doing, or let's say how you're going to be revising that subject. It's just a very good way to make sure your time is saved and that you're not overwhelmed. Now guys, I'm going to be showing you what an ideal timetable looks like. You guys can use this timetable if you want to. I have made it and I can guarantee you that if you're consistent upon it, then you will be able to see very good progress, inshallah. Now guys, just expanding on the first tip that I gave you, which is to make a timetable, I would say to also have a checklist next to your timetable. That way, for every single subject, you know exactly what you need to tick off and you know exactly what the specification is asking for. So that way you can make your timetable and write down something from the checklist that you want to tick off, that you want to practice, that you want to do more questions on. That way it will save so much time, and not only that, you feel confident and you know exactly what's going to be coming up in your mocks, what's going to be coming up in your exams, and it just helps you to think ahead of the entire process. And throughout your life guys, you're going to be realizing how important having a timetable is, because you're going to get busy as time goes. When you get to A-levels, when you get to uni, even in the future you're just going to be more and more busy throughout your life. So it's great to develop the skills, for example, like timetabling and managing your time very well. If you have the skills now at this young age, it's just going to help you so much later on in the future. Now guys, enough of the timetable stuff. Let me get straight to the second tip. Now the second tip that I'm going to be giving you guys is that work smart. Now you can be working hard, or you can be working smart, or you can be doing both at the same time, which is the best thing to do. Now you guys are probably thinking, what do I mean by working smart? You know what, let me explain it to you guys. Now working smart, what you need to do guys, is that a person would rather keep it consistent and study 1 to 2 hours in a day, and making sure that they focus every single time, every single second, revising and doing that properly. There are some people who sit down, and honestly guys, there were days in my life when I was studying for A levels, AS levels, and also GCSEs, where I was just sitting down, getting my book out and just, you know, relaxing, and I would stay sitting down on this chair just reading my book for 5-6 hours, but I just wouldn't be getting enough work done because I'll be revising a little bit and I'll be using my phone. So you got to be working smart. You want to sit down for 1 to 2 hours and get the work done that another person can be doing in 5 hours, but sitting down and taking frequent breaks and using the phones. What you want to do is, again, stick to the timetable, make sure you use the checklist, and you sit down, you put all your distractions away, you put all of your phones away. Now guys, making notes is very, very important, but I feel like there were a lot of people that I've seen, even some of my students themselves, what they did is that they used to make so many notes and put lots of coloring, lots of highlighting, and they used to spend so much unnecessary, excessive time on making this nice little notes. Don't get me wrong guys, making notes is very, very important. The way I make notes is I simply write down notes that I think will be beneficial for me, and maybe sometimes highlight a few stuff, write them down, but you don't need to do all of the colorful stuff, all of the designing stuff. I personally believe that might not be the best way to revise. Now don't get me wrong guys, some people do that and they get the grades, but the most important thing here is about being time efficient and to get the grades with the minimal effort, working smart and not necessarily always working hard. Now guys, one more way to work smart is by using things like different websites, different videos that helps you, that summarizes it, the entire content for you, and that way you can be going through the content many more times, and it will be much better for you guys than to sit down and go through the huge textbooks that you have for GCSEs. Some of them, me personally, I've never used them. I like to use the CGP guides, and they are so helpful because they have all of the stuff that you need to know, but it's nicely and concise. Now one more thing guys I wanted to say is that highlighting is not the best way to revise. There are many different studies out there that show that highlighting is not the best way to revise, and the last thing you want to do is highlight on a CGP book, which is basically already summarized and it's already color coded. And finally guys, the last tip that I want to give you is do practice papers. Now you guys all know how important it is to do practice papers. Practice, understand what exactly the mark scheme is saying, what your different exam boards out there, whether you're doing HQA, EdExcel, OCR, whatever there is out there. You need to understand the exam language, understand the mark scheme. What is it that your examiners are looking for? What kind of specific keywords are they looking for? And that is very, very important because you're going to be sitting an exam, and it's not smart for you to just do content and not do any practice papers, because practice papers are literally as important as learning the content, because you learn the content and you want to make sure you know exactly how to apply it, especially when some of you guys will be getting into A levels. You're going to realize that there is more and more application, and throughout your life, maybe at uni as well, there's going to be so much application. So you want to understand the content by doing all of the things that I told you to do previously. Make a timetable, go through the checklist, make sure you're working smart, and then after that, what you want to do is that you want to use all of this time, all of this knowledge, all of this content that you've gained through the past few months of you revising. You want to do so many practice papers and practice questions. Now I would say that for every single topic that you do, whether it is maths or sciences or whatever subject you do, at the end of the topic you go and not just make notes and understand the content a little bit more, but most importantly is that you do practice questions based on that unit. and do like a topic test. And then what I would say is that later on throughout the year, right before your mocks or before your actual exams, you bash out the past papers one after one, you bang them out, you understand what exactly the mark scheme is looking for. So throughout the entire year, you are always making sure that after content, you're doing practice questions, content practice questions. And that way it will help you not only in your exams to get the best grades, but you will understand exactly what they're looking for, your examiners, especially when they're marking your work, what kind of content, what kind of keywords, what kind of what actually makes you unique. For example, in like history or like written based exams, what makes your essay unique compared to other people's. Look at model answers. So again, practice questions, content, practice papers, and model answers are literally what you need if you want to get the 8s and the 9s throughout the entire all of your GCSE subjects that you're doing, whether it is Spanish, whether it is a language, or it could be anything, guys. It's going to help you so much. Now guys, I hope these free tips that I gave you, they help you so much for your GCSEs. Some of these tips, in fact, you can use them for your AS, for your A-level, even for your uni. It doesn't matter. It's about how you use these tips, how you make your timetable, how you go through the checklist. So yeah guys, let me know what you think about this video, about some of these ideas. I thought these free top tips would be the best, rather than me going through an entire video and giving you 100 different tips that could potentially confuse you. So stick to this free, honestly guys. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Honestly, like, comment and subscribe, and share this video out if you think it was useful. And guys, check out my socials, links will be down there in the description below as well. So yeah guys, honestly, I really hope you guys get the best grades, the grades that you want to, that you need for, you know, your uni applications or your colleges, because this video is mostly for you GCSE students, guys. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and honestly, best of luck for everything. More videos to come. Check the links in the description for every single tip and everything that you guys can possibly get. I'll be putting so many things, contents out in the links in the description below, so make sure you check them out. That is a must. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about it, and I will see you in my next video. Take care and peace out.